Hi there, and welcome to Kathmandu. I just spent the past couple of nights here in this beautiful city. I don't normally lobby on behalf of cities, but I did feel the need to point out just how intriguing and charming some parts of this city are. I think it's often simply the jumping off point for those looking for much more intense adventures than walking around an open air market. But it honestly deserves to be a destination in its own right. Today though is of course a trip report, not a city report. And in the context of my Roots and Hub series, this is I suppose just a regular old trip report. But one with a very special few clips in it. Right now I'm heading to the airport, which is just to the east of the city center. One of the few airports that I've been to on this channel that I've seen multiple direction takeoff and landings happening one after another. Before we get started, let me introduce myself to any of you that may be new to the channel. I'm Kevin the Flip Flop Traveler. If there's one thing that I want you to know about my videos, it's that the opinions in them are honest and my own. If you'd like to know more about the what, how, and why I do what I do, scan the QR code or click the description link. Have a look around the channel. There are hundreds of flight and hotel reviews to explore. This flight in search of the Himalayas begins now. Nepal Airlines, formerly Royal Nepal Airlines, was originally founded in 1958 with a small fleet of DC-3s, serving destinations in Nepal and India. Despite them being around for 60 plus years though, their online and ground operation gives off more of a startup airline vibe. More specifically, a low-cost airline that started up last week. They didn't introduce an online reservation system until 2017, and it still seems that we're working on the same first edition. I simply couldn't get the website to allow me to actually book a ticket, so this is one of the very rare times that I used a third party to book my flight. After I had the flight, I tried to manage my booking and select my seat. I did this probably 9 or 10 times and it never worked. It wanted a payment of 800 Japanese yen, which was more than fine, but the payment option screen would simply never load. If I sound like I'm crying about seat selection, well, I am. Because the entire point of my visiting Kathmandu was to fly in and out to see the Himalayas. And in case you weren't aware, the Himalayas are only on one side of the plane. So being on the right side of the plane was kinda critical. Check-in was chaotic at best, but I did get an especially friendly check-in agent. Just for the hell of it, I asked about upgrades. It would have been $300, but with economy catering. No thank you. So I simply asked specifically for 6 kilo. When I checked in online, the seat was not occupied, but it was blocked. It was the same seat that I'd been trying to purchase. I was surprised at how surprised she was that I cared about where I sat, with, the Himalayas and all being outside. I would have thought that this was just a thing. Apparently not. Anyway, after a solid 10 minutes of rearranging stuff, I got my seat. Many thanks to her. The international terminal has one lounge and it's before security. Don't worry about finding it though. I can assure you with every fiber of my being that the lounge staff will find you, as they have a gaggle of staff trying to recruit priority pass holders. The lounge itself is comfortable with a surprisingly wide selection of food on offer, but was really crowded. Their recruitment efforts seem to be paying off. If you can access the lounge, I implore you to stay here as long as you can, because once you're through security, you may be hard-pressed to find an actual seat. While there are some cool design elements throughout the airport, this airport is, and if you watch the channel, you know I really never say this, but this airport is about as fun as a bus station on a holiday weekend at 1 a.m. It is woefully undersized for the nearly 9 million passengers it puts through per year. There are no jet bridges from the very small international terminal, and there's just a single runway, and the parallel taxiways don't extend the full length. That's a lot of backtracking for an airport with nearly 200 flights per day. Luckily, there are currently improvements being made to extend the taxiways. The departure hall is one large room with around half as many seats as is actually necessary. Purely through my own ignorance, I didn't realize how small of a carrier Nepal Airlines actually is, with just 6 or so flights per day from Kathmandu, the 5th largest carrier by number of flights from this airport. Currently, they have a total of 6 aircraft, 2 A320s, 2 A330s, and 2 Twin Otters, flying to a total of 27 domestic and 10 international destinations. Honestly, I'm not sure how that math works. Anyway, let's go find our aircraft and get on board. I'll put up the airport stats as we drive over. I was curious about the other 4 airlines that are larger at this airport: Buddha Air, Himalayan Airlines, Sri Airlines, and my favorite, Yeti Air. Between the 4 of them, they operate 32 turboprops, 4 A320s, and 4 CRJs. Notable though that Buddha Air has nearly 15 times more departures from here than Nepal Airlines, mostly on domestic routes. Generally speaking, these A330s fly to Delhi, Tokyo, Dubai, and occasionally Doha. But my particular aircraft was flown to Naples, Italy in late June of this year and hasn't flown since. Their other A330 has continued to fly their network though. Perhaps some heavy checks going on, but not sure if that's actually allowed since all Nepalese carriers are banned from the EU. If you'd like to follow along on my Routes and Hubs journey from Brisbane to London, but aren't free at the times that I post, bookmark the playlist linked above and in the description so you're able to follow along whenever is best for you. In that playlist, there's also an introduction video explaining the entire series. As I boarded, I was greeted and guided to my seat just a short walk away. Overall, these seats are standard stuff for a full-service airline, but the legroom was tight. These seats reminded me of the Qantas A330s, and on this model in particular, the angle of the seat and shape of the back made the monitor feel especially close to you. Fine for a pop down to Delhi, but not too sure I'd want to be here all the way to Tokyo. The really poor part about the seat though was under it. You've seen this exact backpack fit under countless seats on the channel. Here, this is the best that I could do because of a variety of extra bars and boxes under the seat in front of me. There were big bright monitors at each seat though. So, how's the video so far? Enjoying it? If you are, go ahead and click that like button. Clicking that button and subscribing really is the best way to support a channel at no cost to you. But some people like to spend, and who am I to judge what makes you happy? So I do also have a Patreon and channel memberships for you to check out if you'd like. Whatever you choose, thanks very much for being here right now. And if you ever have any constructive feedback, questions, or glowing reviews, as always, leave them in the comments. Before pushback, wet wipes were given out and a safety video began. I suppose this is the extension of the taxiway system? We taxied down the runway, made a U-turn, and took off to the north. The spool up, takeoff, and airport stats are coming up next. be honest, by this point I was kind of bummed out, thinking that I was going to miss out on any and all views. But just before the meal service began, I started to see a few mountain peaks peeking out through the clouds. Choices were veg or non-veg, and I went with the non-veg. Promise it wasn't a Jain vegetarian meal, as the tray says. This was easily the highlight of the in-flight product. A really flavorful chicken dish with rice and Nepali-style dal. This was served alongside the world's most vanilla muffin and a really good sweet noodle dessert. No idea of the name, but it tasted very similar to Penang-style chendol, but a bit more plain. Overall, the meal is getting a 7 out of 10. There were around 30 movies on offer, some of them pretty new, so the IFE was better than I was expecting. And the moving map did a good job of reminding me that I was on the correct side of the plane. And correct I was. I'll let you enjoy a few of the views. The most surreal part of all of this to me is knowing that we are flying at 40,000 feet and having the sensation that these are nearly as high as we are. But then we took a turn to the left and the show was very quickly over, replaced by smog. At least I got a good 30 minutes of beautiful views, which I'm very grateful for. Service on board, as in face-to-face time with the crew, was very limited, though in the moments that I did have, they were very polite but a bit reserved. So my side trip to Kathmandu, I would say, was very successful. Beautiful, charming new city, new to me. Views of Everest on the way in and a variety of peaks on the way out, and finding a bit of a gem at that Hyatt Regency. Around 15 minutes after that turn, we began our descent into Delhi. I'll leave you for the landing. The airport stats are coming up. really do hope that you enjoyed this trip report today. If you did, please be sure to click that like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on my twice weekly videos. To be honest, I have no idea which video is coming up next since this was edited in late August, and it's my last script before a very long trip, but I promise you that it's either a hotel or a flight. Thanks for watching until the end.